What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be filming, I'm sure, the much anticipated TBR for the month of August. Now I realize this is very delayed in terms of when it's being filmed and put on the channel, but it is coming, it is here. For anyone who's interested, definitely stick around for the video. It's reading time here at J-Bay's Corner. For those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. My name is Jaya. I put out videos every Wednesday and Sunday, primarily on bookish related content. If that sounds like something that would be up your alley, you're definitely in the right place. So love to have you stick around. For those of you that are returning, I cannot thank you enough for being here. And I'm so excited to be sharing this TBR with you guys. Definitely leave comments below on what you guys think, and if any books in the genre are on your reading list. For those that are new, I typically do a genre every month that I focus on, and August for me, because most of the time that's around the time everyone's going back to school and all that good stuff, it tends to be the dark academia month, and this month and in general it's no different. So the first book that I wanted to talk about is actually a young adult book, and this is a book that I actually have since finished this month. But it is part of a trilogy. I have finished the first book in the trilogy, and I'm unsure if I'm going to be reading the rest of them, but it was Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Now, this book is basically following the story of a young girl who ends up going to a school that has a bunch of gifted children within the school. It is focused on not just education, but individual interests and studies as well. And our main female lead character is very much interested in solving the cold case murder that took place at this university, in that the owner of the school's daughter and wife end up disappearing and no one really knows what happens. There was also another student who ends up disappearing as well and is later on found murdered. And it is believed that the culprit of the murder is a character who calls himself Truly Devious. The police and the detectives at the time were never able to resolve the case, and so Stevie is convinced that she's going to be the one to do so. In her dorm room, she also ends up dorming with a total of 5 other students, I believe. They have 3 other girls and 2 male students that live within the dorm. And in their dorm room, Hayes happens to be a very famous young actor who has done well for himself, but he's also extremely selfish, full of himself, and tends to use other students to his advantage. We have Ellie, who is very much from a hippie kind of background. She doesn't watch TV. She's from communes. She's done a lot of traveling. She's very, very French, if you will. And we have David, who's very secretive about his past and his history. Stevie and him have an instant kind of love-hate relationship with a little touch of chemistry, but there's a lot of mysteriousness surrounding David's character. And then we also have Janelle, who is one of Stevie's friends from her past, and she is hoping to continue to hold on to that friendship throughout the course of her career at this new school. And then we have Val as well. Now, all of these students together basically live within this one dormitory, and when a murder suddenly occurs on the campus during the course of their school year, all of the students get implicated in some way, shape, or form, and Stevie is determined to not only resolve the case that she came to find out more information about, but also to solve the murder that is currently taking place, as her only dream in life is to become a detective. In the first book, we do have a suspicious character that is revealed at the end of the book. However, there is no clear-cut answer as to who actually committed the murder. That will come later on in the series, and from my understanding, the total series is a trilogy. There are additional novels within the storyline as well, but for those who are interested in this novel, I would say it's very similar, for example, in essence, to the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, if that's something that caught your interest. Definitely sounds like a fun one. Many of you may also know that one of my favorite books of all times is We Were Villains, which was written by M.L Rio. This was a book that I first came across, I want to say 3-4 years ago, and it was the perfect dark academia autumnal read. Such an incredible book, Shakespearean college, small college vibes, a bunch of thespians stuck together and crazed blood around. And during the season of Macbeth, there is a death that occurs, and now we have to figure out why it was committed and who committed it. Lots of secrets abound. great, great, great book and the perfect intro to dark academia in my humble opinion. So when M.L Rio ended up releasing a short story called Graveyard Shift, which is also in the realms of dark academia and thriller horror, I had to pick up this book. Also, this cover is so cool. So normally all the mushrooms and the rat end up looking gray, but when it's been in the light, it starts turning this lovely orange, just a cool, spooky vibe to the book. Let's talk about what this book is about. 5 night shift workers, an ancient cemetery, and an open grave. Every night in the college's ancient cemetery, 5 people cross paths as they work the late shift. A bartender, a rideshare driver, a hotel receptionist, the unofficial steward of the derelict church that looms over them, and the editor-in-chief of the college paper, always in search of a story. One dark October evening in the defunct churchyard, they find a hole that wasn't there before. A fresh open grave where no grave should be. But who dug it, and for whom? Atmospheric and eerie, with the ensemble cast her fans love and a delightfully familiar academic backdrop, Graveyard Shift is a modern gothic tale in If We Were Villains author M.L Rio's inimitable style. I am so excited for this book. I am currently reading this book and it has already caught my attention. The setting, the atmosphere, it's just so perfectly dark academia. Absolutely excited for this book. Now, there are other authors within this space who command name and recognition in the dark academia world. We have Olivia Blake, who wrote the Atlas 6 series, which was a very celebrated dark academia series. We also have J.T. Ellison and David Bell, and there are many, many other authors as well. So when I found out that there was a dark academia anthology, I had to pick it up. This is called In These Hollowed Halls, and I can't wait to read the collection of short stories. It says, a beguiling, sinister collection of 12 dark academia short stories from masters of the genre. Enrollment begins now. In these stories, dear student, retribution visits a Lothario lecturer. The sinister truth is revealed about a missing professor. A forsaken lover uses a seance for revenge. An obsession blooms about a possible illicit affair. 2 graduates exhume the secrets of a reclusive scholar. Horrors are uncovered in an obscure academic department, and 5 hopeful initiates must complete a murderous task, and much more. So the primary authors, as I mentioned before, are Olivia Blake, M.L Rio, David Bell, Susie Yang, and J.T. Ellison, but we also have Lane Fargo, James Tate Hill, Kelly Andrew, Phoebe Wynn, Kate Weinberg, Helen Grant, and Tori Bovalino, who also end up publishing in this book. And then it also has a definition of dark academia, which I did want to share because I feel like it's a genre that's relatively new and it's kind of a subcategory genre in and of itself. The definition of dark academia in English is 1, an internet subculture concerned with the higher education, the arts, and literature, or an idealized version thereof with a focus on the pursuit of knowledge and an exploration of death. 2, a set of aesthetic principles, scholarly with a gothic edge, tweed blazers, vintage cardigans, scuffed loafers, a worn leather satchel full of brooding poetry. Enthusiasts are usually found in museums and darkened libraries. So again, so excited for this one. I just think it's going to be perfect fit for the season and the vibes. I also have here a young adult dark academia novel called Ace of Spades that is written by a African-American author, Faridah Abike-Iyimide. At least I think she's African-American. She might just be African. I will need to do a little bit more research on this particular case. She studied in Scottish Highlands and she went to King Colleges London. So I believe she's actually not American. She is European. However, this book is a novel that's basically following the story of 2 Black students in a primarily white elite school. Within campus, there is a question of a murder that may or may not have taken place that is trying to be blamed on one of the students. And we have 2 of these characters, the 2 Black characters, our main characters, being targeted by a character called Aces who is threatening them in text messages. But how do you defeat a foe who is unknown? And that is the vibe of this novel. It is a very powerful book. I will talk more about this later in my recap of the books. I have actually finished this one. However, it is definitely perfect for the dark academia season and vibe. We definitely have 2 characters that are being tormented in their school setting, and it is very much a elite, prestigious school with all of the expected accoutrements that come with that. We have a lot of very rich, white, powerful characters. Our main Black characters are also struggling with a sense of feeling welcome. If you are a fan of shows like Pretty Little Liars, this is a great book for you. And if you are looking for something that really, really targets the question of racism, this is also a great novel for that purpose. But overall, perfect for the dark academia vibe. Up next, I have an S.T. Gibson book, An Education in Malice. I have not yet read this novel. It sounds absolutely perfect for the autumnal entry and the dark academia season. However, as we move into this colder weather, it says, sumptuous and addictive, An Education in Malice is a dark academia tale of blood, secrets, and insatiable hungers from S.T. Gibson, author of the cult hit A Dowry of Blood. Deep in the forgotten hills of Massachusetts stands St. Perpetua's Women's College. Isolated and ancient, it is not a place for timid girls. Here, secrets are currency, ambition is lifeblood, and strange ceremonies welcome students into the fold. On her first day of class, Laura Sheridan is thrust into an intense academic rivalry with the beautiful and enigmatic Carmilla. Together, they are drawn into the confidence of their own demanding poetry professor, De La Fontaine, who holds her own dark obsession with Carmilla. But as their rivalry blossoms into something far more delicious, Laura must confront her own strange hungers, tangled in a sinister game of politics of bloodthirsty professors and magic. Laura and Carmilla must decide how much they are willing to sacrifice in their ruthless pursuit of knowledge. So again, just sounds very, very fascinating, very dark, very deep, and I think it's definitely going to be one for the ages for sure. I am also part of a book club, which we call the Overbooked Book Club. The primary platform is through Facebook, but we do post polls there every month for people to select the book that we will be reading the following month. And then we do Zoom discussions of the novel at the end of every month on the last Tuesday of the month. If that is something you're interested in, definitely check out the page online. I know a lot of people don't use social media platforms like Facebook anymore, but if you are on Facebook, it's just a great way to tap into like-minded people group of reading, and we would love to have you for our discussions. This month we will be discussing Boys with Sharp Teeth, which is written by Jenni Howell. Now I do have the special edition version, which is just absolutely gorgeous, and it says Memento Mori, Didesco Mori in the back of the book. This was the Owl Crate edition. Let's talk about the book. 17-year-old Maureen James has spent her entire life in the shadow of the exclusive Huntworth Academy, and when her cousin's dead body is found in a creek on school property, Maureen knows exactly who's to blame: Adrian Hargraves and Henry Wu, the enigmatic, dangerously alluring leaders of the school's social elite. Swapping her ripped jeans for a crisp prep school skirt, Maureen infiltrates Huntsworth to seek justice. But her quest is quickly muddied by a confusing attraction to her new life and of the two dysfunctional and depraved boys who somehow understand her better than anyone ever has. When Maureen uncovers an otherworldly secret the boys are hiding behind Huntsworth's ivied gates, the lines between right and wrong, love and hate, and nightmare and reality begin to crumble, and nothing is as it seems. Welcome to Huntsworth Academy. So again, it sounds like a kind of darker twist. I have a feeling this one's also going to include a little bit of the supernatural, maybe some vampires and things like that in there. So definitely see this being read closer to the end of the month, so it's also fresh for the discussion. But yeah, definitely looking forward to picking up this book. I also wanted to mention that I had originally planned on reading The Bunnies by Mona Awad this month, which is a very celebrated dark academia novel, but then I realized We Love You Bunny, which is the sequel to that book, is releasing in paperback in September, so I'm going to hold off on reading that series. So instead I found a different duology that I wanted to tap into, and that is Modern Divination by Isa Agajanian. Let's talk about the novel. The color of magic was gold. 23-year-old witch Aurelia Schwartz has always had to carefully balance her human life with her secret magical one. With a place at an elite Cambridge college, she almost has everything she could possibly want within her grasp, just so long as she follows the rules, makes no promises, and tells no one what you are, and never, ever stay the night. Except Aurelia's gift of green magic has begun to fade. Worse still, someone is hunting witches and stealing their powers. Reluctantly, Aurelia needs the help of fellow witch and dreadfully arrogant classmate Teddy Ingram. Together they seek refuge among his family in the remote corners of an already desolate town. But as she grows closer to Teddy, the power-hungry witch killer draws nearer too, and they threaten to destroy everything Aurelia holds dear. Modern Divination is a dark, witchy, contemporary fantasy from a brilliant new talent, set again in that Cambridge College setting, which is what makes it more on the dark academia side. And then we also have the sequel to it, which is called Quiet Spells. And I'm not going to read the interior of this one because I do want to go in blind, but it is the continuation of Modern Divination. And I'm very much excited to tackle that duology in this dark academia season. There is an author that I feel like everyone should read. She has such a way with words, and she has so many different genres that she's tackled and just done brilliant jobs with. And that is none other than R.F Kuang. If you have not read Yellowface, you need to read that book. It was absolutely phenomenal. We are following the story of a white author who steals the manuscript of her dead Asian author compatriot and ends up passing the work as her own. That book gave me shivers with how interesting and powerful that novel was. She also wrote the fantasy series Poppy Wars, which has been celebrated as well. Very, very powerful, powerful books, not too focused on romance, more true fantasy, as well as the dangers of too much power and its corruption on a character, while simultaneously giving them everything they need with no sense of morality grounding them, how much they can do in terms of just dealing with power hungry dynamics and saving an entire group of people and nation. That was a great series. And then she also wrote Babel, which was in fact a dark academia novel set in kind of, I want to say, London in the 1900s, and it actually has a little bit of a magical element to it as well. So when I saw she wrote a new novel last year, I had to pick it up. This is Katabasis by R.F Kuang. I did end up getting the beautiful illustrated edition. This is considered dark academia, and it is a standalone novel in its own right. Let's talk about it. Katabasis, noun, ancient Greek, the story of a hero's descent to the underworld. Alice Law has only ever had one goal: to become one of the brightest minds in the field of magic. She has sacrificed everything to make that a reality. Her pride, her health, her love life, and most definitely her sanity, all to work with Professor Jacob Grimes at Cambridge, the greatest magician in the world. That is, until he dies in a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Grimes is now in hell, and she's going in after him, because his recommendation is the key to her future, and he could hold her dreams in his now incorporeal hands. Unfortunately, her rival, Peter Murdoch, has come to the very same conclusion. With nothing but the records of Orpheus and Dante to guide them, bundles of chalk to draw the pentagrams necessary for their spells, and the burning desire to make all the academic trauma mean anything, they set off across hell to save a man they don't even like. But hell is not like the storybook says. Magic isn't always the answer, and there's something in Alice and Peter's past that could forge them into the perfect allies, or lead to their doom. Sounds so good. This is the next book on my list that I shall be reading soon. So excited for this novel, and so excited to see into the brain of R.F Kuang and all of the brilliance that it contains. She's also coming out with a new book this year. I can't wait for that one to come out as well, but I do believe that one is not dark academia. I will confirm when the book comes out, and I do a book haul for that particular novel. Last but not least on the TBR list, we have Enigma by RuNyx. This is the same author that did write Gothicana, which was a very popular book on Book Talk when it first came out, and definitely fit the mold of dark academia. This is going to be the second book in the RuNyx collection. She's also releasing her third book, Arcana, sometimes this year, which will be the second book in the Varenmore series. This one, however, is a completely different storyline, so let's see what Enigma has to offer. And this is soon to be the physical read that I will be reading this week. It says, "The chaos inside me quietens when I'm near you" on the back. Again, beautiful, beautiful copy. This is the Fairy Loot edition. It says, "There are secrets she must uncover. There are secrets she must keep. Salem Salazar is the black sheep of her wealthy family. Plagued by scandal, she enrolls at the elite Mortimer University to find out what happened to her perfect missing older sister, Olivia. There, she soon discovers Olivia is only one of many girls who have disappeared at Mortimer, and vows to uncover the dark forces responsible, even if it means using herself as bait. And Casimir Vanderwall has caught her scent. Kaz may look as though he was carved by the gods, but he also has a dark past, a hidden agenda, and a ravenous appetite for a beautiful golden-eyed girl. But while Kaz is obsessed with Salem, he's far from the most dangerous thing at Mortimer. As Salem and Kaz's investigations intertwine, their undeniable chemistry, and blah, 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 can they uncover the truth before it consumes them both? So essentially, we're trying to solve the story of a murder, and then obviously we have a romance that's going on as well. This is very much dark academia combined with romantasy vibes, which is traditional to RuNyx's writing style so far. But again, a very, very exciting one, and definitely feels like it's going to be the perfect setting in terms of the dark, gothic kind of castle-esque school vibe that they are going to be going to, that is also isolated and separated from society while they're trying to resolve a murder. It just sounds absolutely perfect in terms of its dark academia vibes. And that does bring me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this collection of novels. I'm very much excited to go through them. I will be the first one to say, however, I am in a little bit of a reading slump, so we'll see how quickly I get through books. To give an idea, normally, just because of the ravenous way I read, I tend to usually get through anywhere between 3 to 5 novels a week, and right now I'm averaging maybe 2 if I'm lucky. I will do a what I read in the week next, hopefully as motivation for me to get through more books. But overall, I will say that I'm very excited for this collection of 10 books as we enter into the Dark Academia season. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what Dark Academia novels you guys have finished recently. I would love to know what everyone is reading and what they're up to, especially as we enter into this early fall season and ending the transition through summer. For those of you that are new, if you did enjoy this content, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell if you want to be part of our bookish community. Again, videos come out every Wednesday and Sunday, primarily on bookish content, but there is sometimes some random travel-based vlogs or food-based vlogs, etc. But most of the time it is books, and if that is up your alley, definitely would love to have you back. For those of you that are returning, I cannot thank you enough. Like, truly, you guys mean the world to me. It is just so cool to have like-minded people to share my obsession of books with and to talk all things books all the time. I love the comments you guys leave. I love chatting with you guys about all the different novels that we're reading, and I love to hear other people's opinions and thoughts on these books as well, because I realize books spark different things in different people, and it gives you a different perspective to think from, which is always just so much fun and so cool. And I just want to leave everybody with this. Wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, evening, or night, I hope you're getting plenty of time to rest, relax, and read, and you're surrounded by loved ones, feeling safe and secure. I will catch you on the next video. Bye, guys.